Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Tales of Phantasia. Yeah, I know, right? Finally. Last time, we finished off our little world tour, found the ninja village, got ourselves the Muramasa, a really good weapon for quests. As for today, we're gonna be finally going on with the plot. We've got two swords to obtain. In the form of the Vorpal sword, the sword of ice, and the Flambirch sword, the sword of fire. They are in two separate dungeons. One of them is in Freezekill, and the other one is on the continent of Freyland by Olive Village, the desert area. Now, with these two dungeons, you can choose either dungeon in any order you choose. It does not matter which one you do. Whatever one you depending on which one you chose first, we'll just determine, essentially, if you choose the fire one first, the enemies in this dungeon that we're doing today will do a little, their stats will be a little bit buffed. Just a little bit. To keep up with, your levels, I suppose. As for the dungeons themselves, which ones to do first and second, it doesn't necessarily matter. In my opinion, the way I'm doing it is the way I've been following the notes. So essentially, I'm going to be doing the dungeon in Freezekill first. I guess nothing's stopping you from doing the fire one, because it is technically easier, but well, when I say that, I mean like the boss and the dungeon itself is a little easier to navigate. As for this dungeon, well, we're about to find out soon. This is the Church of Fenrir. The door is locked, so how are we going to get in? You dare to defile the Church of Fenrir. Turn back now or face a bloody death. Whoa. What was that? Well, we're not going to find out just standing out here. Do we really have to? This place gives me the creeps. I love how they all nod. And she pushes the door, and apparently she breaks it. Good job, Archie. Well, Archie, how hard did you push? It was an accident. Whatever, let's just go, okay? Archie seems freaked out. It's like, I underestimate myself. What unbelievable craftsmanship. It's absolutely beautiful. I gotta say, this church, or at least the windows, they're pretty nice. But, we gotta get a move on, so, can we, pan back to our characters? Thank you very much. So you really do wish to die. Who are you? I'm the guardian of Fenrir's holy Vorpal sword, sworn to kill anyone who dares take it. Well, we're taking that sword no matter who or what stands in our way. Then step ahead, fools, and welcome your icy demise. Alright, but like I said, the fire dungeon is technically easier, but it's easier to navigate, and there's actually a way to prevent a lot of damage within that dungeon compared to this one, where no matter how you have your character set up, you're gonna take damage no matter what. But speaking of setting up your characters, make sure all of Arch's spells are off besides fire, because in this dungeon, well as Clarth, make sure his summon spirits are off, except all of his, good ones. Well, I guess Ifrit's not really good at this point, but, spoiler warning, your AI is never going to use Ifrit anyways, at this point anymore. In fact, even when we got Ifrit, Clarth was using Undine more. But the reason why you want to turn off all the spells is because every enemy is ice-based. Meaning they won't take any damage from their ice spells. And as a matter of fact, your ice spells will heal them. As for everything else, they won't do anything, which is a real shame because I would have loved to use like Ray and such. Indignation would have been cool to use. Alright, we've got a new enemy. He just died, but I'm going to go over him anyways because we got a little bit of time to kill. That was the Ekim. Basically a weaker variation of Volt. The one thing you need to keep in mind is the fact that it shoots that little thunderbolt. I'm pretty sure Volt did the same thing. Now, the issue is that it can pass through your... it can pierce your party members, so it can hit multiple of them. It can also damage you even after the Ekim has been defeated, which is really obnoxious, I gotta say. You're gonna want to equip your Sorcerer's Ring for this dungeon, because a lot of, like, switches you have to trigger are frozen. And the Sorcerer's Ring is apparently a source of fire. But before that, we got a new enemy, Kunoichi. These guys are very annoying. They are ninjas in their to a fault. They're fast, they can use combo attack with their swords, and they got the Naruto trademark of substitution jutsu. I don't mean like Naruto himself, I mean just like one of the techniques that everyone apparently likes to use. At least in the old Naruto. Shippuden just, it became a Dragon Ball Z show with ninjas. At least in my opinion. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. A lot of the times when you attack the Kunoichis, they will substitute themselves for a log, and they will counterattack you from above. They'll still take the damage when they teleport, but you do have to be mindful of that they will do that very often. Anyway, with this little segment here, all you gotta do is light the candles. Not much to it. Some of the puzzles in this dungeon aren't very bad. As a matter of fact, one gimmick, I guess you can call it that, one gimmick of this dungeon is highly underutilized, which is beautiful for those that have cried over ice-related dungeons. I'll explain that soon, but I'm pretty sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll grab this item right here, armor. That is going to be a star cloak. Use a room bottle on it, as I'm doing right now, and equip it on your mages. Also, this is where I found out that Archie didn't actually have the star cloak I acquired earlier. I forgot to equip that, apparently. Dolt. So, anyways, moving on. I forgot what I was saying earlier. I was talking about something, then the Kunoichi sort of happened, and I forgot what I was talking about. I'll probably remember it a little bit later. Anyway, with this room, you want to push this statue up into this, I guess this hole. For starters, a new enemy, Sendoms. They're just like the vines, only, they drain HP a little bit faster. I don't think they're very damaging. The other thing about them is that they're very frail. They don't take a lot of punishment to die. Their HP is rather low. So one Firestorm and one strong attack from Kless is all you're really going to need. Or no kill like overkill with Clarth. Wait, that's redundant to survive. Anyways, with this room, you want to push the statue up against that hole. And then light the torches, like the little candles, before proceeding. The reason why you want to push the statue is if you were to light this before doing that, a gust of wind will blow out those candles and the door will close. So you gotta make sure that statue is in the right position. You'll know it once you try to walk through the door and the wind does not blow. Assuming you're not just gonna literally mimic everything that I'm doing. There's nothing in this room, nothing to the right at all. Alright, this room is just a bunch of forks. So I'm essentially showing the best route in order to get to all the chests. And for some reason my footage sort of like pooped a little bit. At least on my end, you probably won't see that. But yeah, I'm just showing the route in order to get to all the chests. This one is the most important though. You're gonna need this for the next dungeon. The tidal wave. For this dungeon, please, for the love of God, turn it off. I made the mistake of leaving it on, and then we entered a battle, and off screen. I guess technically off screen because I cut the battle out. Arche immediately used Tidal Wave thinking it would be beneficial, but no, it healed the enemies for a lot of HP because Tidal Wave is a very damaging attack. It's not her most deadly, but it's pretty close to our ultimate attack, which we'll be getting later. Ironically, Indignation isn't the most powerful spell. It was powerful for a time, and hell, it did like 6,000 damage to Douse, but I think at this point it won't do much of anything to him. But anyways, we got a new enemy. I absolutely hate this guy. I really do. The problem is that, you know how I said, like, spells, no spells except fire will affect all the enemies in this dungeon? Plus can still attack most of them, except for this guy. Assuming you're not using a fire-based attack like the Firebrand or the Magma Rift attack or the Phoenix, you are not doing anything to the Card, not a doggone thing. And it's real annoying because when you try to attack him, not only will he not take any damage, but he'll almost immediately counterattack and like stun you for a little bit. Granted, the Card usually the Card always comes. Not usually. It always appears by itself. It doesn't ever have any backup. So it's a lone wolf teehee. You'll know why. You should already know why I made that joke. Actually, that'd probably be more fitting for the boss fight. I just spoiled that, didn't I? Damn it! But anyway, all you gotta do really is, for class, use a Magma Rift. Use a Magma Rift twice and the Card won't last. I'm pretty sure that 2 of those Magma Rifts will do the trick. Now, ironically, this dungeon really doesn't have much in terms of difficult puzzles. It's really simplistic, all things considered. And the second dungeon isn't much different. I think the second dungeon is a tad longer, but for different reasons. Also, since Min almost never uses her spells in battle, except Thunderhammer for some reason, it does work every now and then, but not on everything. Cure is your best friend at this point in the game. Because since she almost never needs to use it. So, yeah. Hooray! Excuse me. I think I had sun stuck in my tooth. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna want to activate this switch before we proceed. Because if you remember back from the glaciated caverns with those switches that cause water to fill or empty, this dungeon has that same gimmick. There is a slight curveball thrown a little bit later, but otherwise it's essentially the same thing. If you press a switch, water in the next room or so will either flood or drain. In this case, it drained, so we're able to go downstairs now. I really don't remember what I was mentioning earlier. Wow, that really bothers me. Activate this switch right here. Head back up. Grab these 2 things. The cute mins, you're gonna want to equip that onto Mid or Arche. I think one of them already has it. I don't remember though. The bow, the question mark bow, isn't necessary. Chester's Elven Bow is going to be one of the best weapons you have from him throughout the rest of the game. Granted, Chester kind of sucks because he can't... It's sad, because I'm sure Chester has a lot of potential. But since he doesn't have any text, he just does a lot of damage, which he doesn't really stick out that much. Anyway, that button I just pressed on, you saw it just now, the water froze. So, awesome, because like, I was wondering where the actual ice part of this dungeon was. I mean, I guess the music seems fitting for an ice dungeon. But back to what I was saying earlier with the underutilized puzzles, like ice-related puzzles. You know how in games like Pokemon, whenever you get to an ice-based area, there's always that puzzle where you have to like use the ice physics in order to make your way through. Or if I have to be more relatable, like Tales of Phantasia, where there's a couple of ice puzzles, and for some reason there's a ice puzzle without the ice, and way later in the game. But for some reason, no, in this dungeon you can just walk on the ice like normal. I wish other games did this, because ice puzzles are really obnoxious. The one that comes to my mind the most, and this is completely unrelated because it's not an RPG, is the ice block puzzles. There's a few of them in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. There's the puzzle in Snow Peak Ruins, obviously, because of the dungeon. It's an ice-based dungeon. And then there's another one. I forget exactly where it is. I haven't played the game in a while. HD version's pretty good. Just wish the stamp collection wasn't there. It's completely unneeded. But anyway, there's that other ice block puzzle that rewards you with a heart piece. Yeah, it's a heart piece. So yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Alright, we're about ready for our boss fight, so I recommend equipping some protective ice-based equipment. So your party members either take less damage or no damage from ice-based attacks. I think in my case, they just take less. Or at the very least, Clarth takes less. Secondly, turn all of Arch's spells off except Firestorm. That's the only one she's really going to need. And for Clarth, you can turn on Maxwell. Maxwell is going to be the most damaging, ironically, even though he has to do multiple attacks instead of just one powerful one. Because for some reason, the other spirits just don't meet up to him. And, like, Asuka or Luna. Or Volta, that matter. I don't even have to... That was my phone. I don't even have to talk about the lesser spirits because they've been long and forgotten. And let me just say, one thing that absolutely drives me nuts in an RPG is when you're about to fight the boss, like you know the boss is coming up. You get to a save point, it's like, alright, boss time. You take a few steps, and for some reason you just get an enemy encounter. It's like, well, damn it, now I have to heal up again because I took some damage, and I like being fully healed and prepared for the boss fight, because this boss fight in particular can be a bit of a doozy. I actually died during this boss fight once. Thankfully, it was only once, but still. Your buddies will make an excellent offering. Fascinating. Alright, now we've got Fang Wolf. Now, this guy isn't particularly dangerous, like in terms of speed anyways. He like speed walks a little bit, I suppose. He's not like the salamander based enemies that we saw in like the Mere Forest. But what you need to worry about is a few attacks. This is the most prominent one. He howls I suppose to the moon, and a whole bunch of like icicles start falling from the ceiling. And that can be annoying because not only does he does that frequently, though for how little those things are, they do a decent amount of damage. The other thing that does a decent amount of damage is that stupid slash attack he likes to do. It's like a Fury Slice with Pokemon, except all like actual Fury Swipes in Pokemon. This attack does a fair amount of damage. And sometimes he can catch you in like a barrage of them, so he can attack you multiple times. Now there is a third attack that I believe he does, but but unless if I'm mistaken, he doesn't use it. We do fight a weaker variant of him later, well, sort of, I suppose, that does use its attack quite frequently, which is why I'm really not a fan of it. Basically, he jumps in the air and shoots 3 projectiles, and those projectiles hurt. And not only that, they're fast, so you ain't dodging them well. Then again, considering how terrible your character movement is in a game like this, it'd be no surprise that your characters can move. The other thing is that Thunderhammer is not going to do anything to this guy. What you basically want to do is use Valkyrie or Haste on your characters and have them perform the spells, and Klets use his fire, his Magma Rift a lot. I say Magma Rift because it stuns him more than you think, actually. I don't think the Firebrand stuns him as well, but still. He's also got a lot of health, so you need to watch out for that. Oh, there go my suit. Alright, now that that's done.